Welcome to North America. The most diverse continent on Earth. The only place where you can find every landscape from polar ice cap to baking desert and everything in between. Whatever the neighborhood, there's a hero who can make it a home. Smart, tough, brave, you name it. They all have what it takes to thrive in the wildest, most beautiful continent on Earth. Every corner of America calls for a different kind of hero. These are the Teton Mountains of Wyoming, the edge of North America's biggest mountain range, the Rockies. With towering peaks and vast forests, this is a land of giants. But heroes come in all shapes and sizes. A red squirrel. Yeah, he's small, but trust me, size isn't everything. He's collecting pine cone seeds to help feed him through the long mountain winter ahead. He's been hard at work for 2 months. And he's collected a stash to be proud of. With all those savings in the bank, you might think he could rest easy. But life's not that simple. A freeloading black bear. Darn. He's not going to take this lying down. What the? Seriously? I mean, you gotta admire the squirrel's guts. He's taken on a guy 1,000 times his size. He tries the angry holler, the blitz defense. But dream on. The whole stash is gone in minutes. A small snack for the thief, a big problem for the squirrel. He's not defeated, though. He finds some new hiding spots. As evening falls, he's still hard at work. When yet more strangers show up on his patch. Long-eared owls. They like to dine out on squirrels. Probably a good time to head to bed. While he's sleeping, his worst nightmare comes true. Porcupines uncover one of his new stashes. And worse still, a grizzly bear, the greediest thief of them all, finds the last of his buried savings. Morning brings a scene of carnage. All appears lost. But here's why this squirrel's a hero. Up in a treetop, he's been gathering a secret supply that the big guys didn't find. He didn't put all his eggs in one basket. Smart thinking. Just what you need to make it in the mountains of America. Mountain worlds cover 1/4 of our continent. In the south, thousands of square miles of wetlands sit just above sea level, including the biggest swamp in all of North America. The Atchafalaya in Louisiana. It's ruled over by a giant that's been around since the time of the dinosaurs. An American alligator, our biggest reptile, up to 15 feet long and a half a ton. How has her kind survived in America's wetlands for 70 million years? Patience. She'll wait as long as it takes to catch her prey. It helps that she can go for 2 years between meals. Eyes and nostrils on the top of her head mean that she can stay hidden underwater while she looks for food. She'll eat just about anything. Although today, she's gunning for a big prize. A white-tailed deer. The best grazing is right by the water's edge. The younger deer have no experience of the danger that can lie beneath. She has to keep it real slow. These guys are too wary. Maybe a resting deer will be easier to approach. Over a short distance, she can strike 5 times faster than a snake. Not today. But no worries. She's got all the time in the world. It just takes one deer to make one mistake, and she'll be waiting. Head north from the low-lying swamps of the south. And you enter the vast American heartland. The prairies are the meeting place for weather from north and south. Out here, you gotta be ready for all seasons in a day. 1 minute, it's green all around. An hour later, snow everywhere. Be prepared for anything. Whether you're big, like a bison, small, like a prairie dog, or newly arrived for the breeding season, like this burrowing owl. The greatest temperature change ever recorded on Earth in one day was on the US prairie, a 100-degree swing. Sunny and warm again. And now it's raining. The Heartland heroes are used to it. Whatever. This hard-working prairie dog mom takes it all in her stride. She's got demanding kids to worry about. You know the feeling. Out here, though, it pays to keep one eye on the weather. There's no mountains to block winds blowing from north or south. So when the winds shift and freezing cold air from the Arctic meets baking hot air from the tropics, things get nasty. Up above the prairie dog town, the most violent type of thunderstorm on Earth is forming. A supercell. The warm air is pushing up through the cold at 100 feet per second, sucking water vapor with it. The thundercloud can climb to twice the height of Mount Everest. The low rumble of a storm alerts animals for miles around. In the most extreme supercells, the movement of warm and cold air streams creates a spinning vortex. The birth of one of the planet's most destructive forces. A tornado. Over 1,000 touch down here every year. you've got a burrow, use it now. Wind speeds can hit over 300 miles per hour, the strongest winds on Earth. Tornadoes are getting more widespread as our climate warms. A big challenge for people, but for the burrow dwellers of the Great Plains, a tornado is just a minor inconvenience. Mama Prairie Dog gets straight on with rebuilding the front porch. She even gets the kids to help out. The heroes at the heart of our continent endure the planet's wildest weather. Travel out to the sunny Californian coast, and the challenges for life are way different. Just offshore from Los Angeles, there's a special breed of hero. Dolphins. The secret to their success? Teamwork. There are more dolphins per square mile here than anywhere else on Earth. A gang like this can be 10,000 strong. Every one of them swimming as fast as an Olympic sprinter can run. Today, they're hunting within sight of Tinseltown. Working together, they scour the ocean for prey. Soon they round up a giant school of anchovies. Other hunters spot the opportunity. Californian sea lions and diving seabirds. It looks like an easy meal, but the anchovies have a dazzling defense. They stay close and coordinate their movements. The blur of twisting and turning fish confuses the hunters. They can't pick out any single fish. This looks like a job for Team Dolphin. They drive a wedge into the shoal. Working together, they gradually break the shoal up into smaller chunks. Now it's easier to target the individual fish. Every predator eats as much as it can before the gate crashers arrive. A humpback whale can eat 80,000 anchovies in a single gulp. So two whales together soon bring an end to this Hollywood drama. Since humans were banned from hunting whales, some have made a comeback here, including the greatest of all, the blue whale. The biggest animal that's ever lived. Up to 200 tons and 100 feet long. North America is one of the best places in the world to see blue whales. Almost as many live here now as there were before hunting began. The rich Pacific sustains these ocean giants, and also giants of the land. Off Northern California, fog banks form over the cool ocean. Breezes blow the fog inland, where coastal redwoods, the tallest trees on Earth, absorb the fog water through their leaves. There are woodlands watered by the ocean on our Atlantic coast, too. This is the only tropical forest in the lower 48. The South Florida home to one of our smallest heroes. You're looking right at him. North America's tiniest toad. An oak toad, the size of a nickel. He's got to head out to eat. The problem is, when you're this small, pretty much everything else wants to eat you. This little guy needs courage. For him, a 50-yard journey to find food is a dangerous quest. With predators at every turn. In his path, the biggest toad in America. At over 10 times his size, this cane toad could swallow him whole. Better hope the big guy's not hungry. Oof, lucky escape. It won't always be so easy, though. Some hunters here are hungry. A garter snake. She smells the air with her forked tongue to track her prey. She's nearly on him. But she loses the trail. Maybe the toad used the smell of the snail to mask his own scent. It pays to be small sometimes. Now there's just one last predator in the toad's path. Perhaps the most sinister of them all. A sundew, a carnivorous plant. It uses a sugary secretion to lure in its prey. The ant is trapped by the sticky droplets. Allowing the sundew to slowly engulf it. A deadly predator. But just what the toad's been looking for. He fires out his tongue faster than the human eye can blink, stealing ants from the sundew's sticky grip. Who doesn't love an all-you-can-eat buffet? Brave and crafty, he's definitely a hero of this lush coastal forest. Inland, America is a drier world. In California, humid Pacific air can't cross the high Sierras. Beyond is the driest place in North America and the hottest place on Earth, Death Valley. The western deserts are the setting for some of the most famous landscapes on Earth. Some are the stuff of legend. In the stories of the Navajo, the 1,000-foot-tall towers of Monument Valley are the bodies of defeated monsters. The bare rock of these deserts have been carved by the elements for thousands of years, with spectacular results. The Grand Canyon, the largest canyon in America, nearly 300 miles long and over a mile deep. It's truly awe-inspiring. But how do you make a living here? Rule 1, you gotta be tough, able to endure months of drought. Rule 2, everyone, from this mountain lion all the way down the food chain, has to grasp the opportunity when rain does make it beyond the mountains. When it rains here, it rains here, up to 2 inches an hour. After the storm, all the locals come out to drink. Even those, like this rattlesnake, who usually stay hidden. For this roadrunner, the rain presents more than just a chance to quench his thirst. He has his eye on a female. But despite his best efforts at personal grooming, she's not interested. So lucky for him, the rain has brought out what he needs to impress his lady. Food. The perfect gift for a first date? A scorpion. No luck there. How about a juicy lizard? Surely this will win her heart. I mean, who couldn't resist fresh lizard delivered with a shake of the tail? She's leading him on a dance. She's interested. But there's trouble ahead. The rattler's still out. The shock puts her off romance. It's too bad. But no unwanted gift should go to waste. Especially in the desert, where the good times usually don't last long. Out here, change can come fast. The White Mountains of New Hampshire, scene of one of the most famous transformations on Earth. As winter approaches, the trees lose pigments from their leaves. The cue for a magical display. The fall colors of New England. The color change sweeps through the plants and the animals. Some caterpillars here change color with the leaves. It's a neat trick, which means they can stay camouflaged while their home changes around them. The fall transformation is the beginning of the great northern winter. Brutal and beautiful. The northern lights dance over the summit of Denali in Alaska, our highest mountain and the coldest place on Earth outside of Antarctica. Through the long winter months, the weak sun brings no warmth. So you've got to be ready to take advantage of the good times when spring finally comes. A caribou herd is on the move, seeking out the newly exposed grass. But this female has dropped behind the herd to have her calf. He's the last born youngster of this calving season. It's going to take a heroic effort from Mom to keep him safe. At just an hour old, she pushes him to get moving. They're vulnerable alone. Way ahead, the herd offers safety in numbers. She's nearly caught up with another mom and calf, who are also trailing behind the herd. But her tiny, last-born calf is struggling to keep pace. And the last place you want to be is bringing up the rear. Grizzly bears are on the caribou's tail, recently emerged from hibernation and very hungry. This bear is more desperate than most. She's a mother too, with 3 young cubs in tow. The older calf tries to keep safe by keeping still. But he panics. Mom calls to encourage him. But she's helpless against the bear. Some battles can't be won. This small meal won't sustain the bears for long. The mom of the youngest calf needs to keep him on the move. Soon they catch up with the rest of the herd. The caribou choose a dangerous route to shake off the bears. Ahead of the herd is a river, fast flowing and swollen with melted snow. It's tough for the adults. For the calves, it can be deadly. They've only just learned to walk. And now, it's sink or swim. The mother of the youngest calf has brought him safely this far. But she can't help him with this. It's possible death in front, or certain death behind. Where she leads, hopefully, he'll follow. Is struggling to swim. He's made it. The bear won't risk crossing with her cubs. Mama Caribou has led her calf to safety. And just in time, he found his inner hero. It's ultimately the land itself that shapes our heroes. Just look deeper into every corner of this great continent, and you'll find beautiful landscapes graced by icons of the American wild. Heroes supremely adapted to the challenges of their worlds. Striving to overcome all that life throws at them. And surviving to raise new generations. That can call this beautiful land home.
This is paradise.
Welcome to North America. The most diverse continent on Earth. The only place where you can find every landscape from polar ice cap to baking desert and everything in between. Whatever the neighborhood, there's a hero who can make it a home. Smart, tough, brave, you name it. They all have what it takes to thrive in the wildest, most beautiful continent on Earth.
Patchwork quilt of life. Wildness never dies. Beauty always thrives. Under these spacious skies.
wild northwest of America. Majestic mountain ranges march north for over 2,000 miles, from Wyoming to Alaska, and onwards into the great wilderness of the Arctic. This is a world of epic winters and brief, spectacular summers. The timing is everything. There's a new ruler in the Arctic. The pack's relying on her to find the food they'll need to get through the tough months ahead. Their home is Ellesmere Island, as far north as you can go. Food is scarce. The wolves search a territory larger than any other wolf pack on Earth. 40 times the size of Washington, D.C. They're in luck. She's picked up a scent. But this prey will test the pack to their limit. Muskox, relics of the Ice Age. 5 foot high and 800 pounds of pure attitude. An adult ox could definitely kill a wolf. But this herd has calves, and with the right game plan, the pack could take one down. The howl says, it's time to hunt. The alpha female goes out front to spook the herd. She wants to get them running, to tire them out and separate the young. She chooses the 2 fastest wolves to help her push the herd into a 40-mile-per-hour sprint. She's got a calf, but her teammates aren't watching her back. The wolves' mistake gives the muskox time to regroup. A wall of horns surround the calves. Shoulder to shoulder, they're unbreakable. This hunt is over. It's a stalemate. A strong leader knows when to back down. With this opportunity lost, it's going to be a long and hungry winter for this wolf pack. In Alaska, the first snow covers the peaks of the Aleutian Range. Where these mountains meet the sea, another northerner needs to pack on the pounds before the winter comes. a brown bear. Survival superpower, an iron stomach. The smell of this rotting whale carcass is attracting bears from as far as 20 miles away. Males are usually bad-tempered loners, but each bear needs up to 60,000 calories a day to get fat enough to make it through the winter hibernation. So they've called a truce. It's pretty rare to see this many together on a carcass. 30 tons of rotting flesh doesn't just wash up every day. When bulking up, brown bears can eat for 20 hours straight. Whoa, I think he's overdone it. Time for an ice bath. Oh, man. These guys have timed things just right. Fattening up before the Alaskan winter strikes. In the Teton Mountains of Wyoming, another American icon is planning even further ahead. This female moose has spent the year alone. With fall here, she wants to become a mom. And now, she's the center of attention. This huge male's been on her for days. Sure, he's got 5-foot antlers, but they can hit 6 foot. Let's just say she's keeping her options open. Now this guy has got her attention. Tall, dark, and handsome. He's got moves. Impressive. These two will fight over the right to mate with the female. But only when she decides the time is right. If she mates right now, her calf will be born in the middle of winter and may not survive. If she holds out just a little bit longer, it could be born in the warmth of spring. Timing is everything. After a month, things get a little weird. Sniffing, thrashing, and quite a bit of this. Male urine is full of pheromones, sort of a moose aphrodisiac. She has to resist it though. It's still too early. Just be patient, big guy. Two months in, and winter shows its hand. With colder temperatures come shorter days. That's the cue she's been waiting for. Now she's ready. And the bulls know it. Their neck muscles have doubled in size over the summer in preparation for this exact moment. They leverage 1,600 pounds of power to breaking point. The antler will grow again. Now his pride, that'll take some healing. Our female's got her timing right. Her calf will be born 8 months from now at the best possible time. But first, there's winter to deal with. The further north you go, the harder the winter hits. Alaska is the northernmost state in the U.S. Though even here, there's one place which doesn't freeze. The Chilkat River, heated from below by geothermal vents. Chilkat means salmon storehouse in the language of the local Tlingit people. And one hungry American hero knows just why. This young bald eagle's been struggling to find food. Most eagles don't make it through their first winter. But here, because the river doesn't freeze, he can access dead fish from the salmon run to boost his chances of survival. Only problem is, he's got company. Well, that's intimidating. Almost 4,000 bald eagles come to feed here every winter. The largest gathering in the world. And it's every eagle for itself. With a wingspan of 8 feet, the females are the largest and the most aggressive. That head tilt tells them, you don't want any problems. Back off. The fish is mine. He's hungry, but he's also afraid of getting hurt. From the sidelines, he can see that round here, you have to fight to survive. He could hold back, stay safe, and face starvation. But he decides to risk it all. Through sheer determination, he's fought off the elders and staked his claim. These vital calories will help him through the hard months ahead. Nowhere does winter like here. Denali, the highest mountain in North America, and at minus 100 degrees, the coldest on Earth. With the last light disappearing over the horizon, the clock starts on the hardest, darkest months of the year. In Ellesmere, polar winds rip through the barren hills. You can't complain about the cold when your ancestors survived the Ice Age. Under their long, guard hairs, the musk oxen have grown a fine underwool, the warmest fiber in the world. In the dead of winter, they slow their metabolism by 30%. They're the ultimate Arctic survivors, staying slow to stay alive. Winter takes northern heroes to their limits. But eventually, the good times return. Spring. The warmth sweeps northwards into Alaska. A wake-up call for brown bears. A mom and her 2 new cubs. She nursed them through the winter inside her den. But it cost 30% of her body weight. She needs to eat fast. The cubs are just enjoying their newfound freedom. A snow day. It's the ultimate cure for cabin fever. Gotcha. The only way to get these little guys' attention is milk. Out of the den, their intake quadruples. They'll need over a half gallon a day. To keep the family fed, she follows her nose. 2,000 times more sensitive than ours. Jackpot, a termite nest, full of protein-packed insects. It's their first taste of solid food. Though this meal bites back. This snack buys Mom some time. but there's not much else up here to eat. She knows that if she can just get them down the mountain, a feast awaits. She's not the only new mom who needs to step up for her family. The Ellesmere Wolf Pack made it through the winter. They got 4 new pups to feed. A muskox calf won't feed them all this time. Taking on an adult is high risk. But the alpha knows there's no other choice. In 24-hour daylight, there's nowhere to hide. So the pack stalks downwind to hide their scent. Like before, the fastest split the herd and single out a weak adult. But this time, the rest of the pack closes in. It's an ancient battle between 2 heroes of the frozen north. And the pups, they're learning the art of the hunt through their elders. Thanks to the alpha's leadership, the pack will thrive on the Arctic edge of America. On the Cascade Range in Washington State, the snow has almost disappeared. Even Mount Baker, holder of the world record for highest snowfall in a single winter, is shedding its coat. The 50-foot winter snowpack feeds huge glaciers. And as the spring sun shines down, the snow and ice begin to melt. Drops become trickles, trickles become streams, until a flood of water lubricates the glacier. A river of ice slides down the mountain. Forming condo-sized crevasses and relentlessly grinding stone to rubble. Glaciers carve some of America's most iconic landscapes. From the Alaskan Range to the Cascades, where 26 glaciers flow down the volcanic slopes of Mount Rainier. As the weather warms, more and more ice melts, pouring down the mountainside, transforming alpine valleys. After 8 months of snow, the meadows erupt with color as thousands of wildflowers bloom. The slopes of Mount Rainier are known as paradise, the perfect home if flowers are your favorite food. A marmot and his mate, just awake after nearly 8 months of hibernation. Like the bears, they've lost a third of their body weight underground and need to eat. Right now, though, they're running on empty, and just the thought of a flower is exhausting. Cool mountain mornings make it extra tough to get going. The grown-ups catch some rays to warm up. And the kids beat them down to breakfast. These grown boys have to do all their eating for the whole year in the 4 months while they're above ground. They can eat half their body weight in flowers every day. Those flowers are packed with sweet nectar. So it's not long before the sugar rush. Roughhousing provides a long overdue workout. It's the fastest way to build muscle tone and strength. Oh, come on. No biting. Some nice moves. Not bad. A clear winner. Now, back to the buffet. The marmots will make every moment and every mouthful count while paradise blooms. On the neighboring mountain, a cousin of the marmots is even busier. An all-American architect. A beaver. He's doing what beavers do best. He's building a dam to create a pond. A family of 4 can build almost 5 feet of dam a day. Their pond is a barrier, keeping predators away from their lodge, their family home. And pond building here has other significance, as this is no ordinary mountain. This is Mount St. Helens. In 1980, this volcano erupted with the power of 25,000 atomic bombs. "1,300 feet blew off the summit, leaving a crater the size of 1,000 football fields. The explosion ripped through the forest, leveling an area as large as Chicago. Thousands of trees were blown from the hillside and plunged into Spirit Lake. Nothing survived. It looked like a wasteland. But amongst the devastation, the beavers saw potential. With running water and plenty of shattered wood for building materials, they moved in and got to work. The population soon growing as their network of dams and ponds spread. In just 40 years, these eco-engineers transformed Mount St. Helens into a wetland paradise. Their dams hold back water that would otherwise flow away. They provide water for plants and a home for hundreds of animal species. The beavers have brought nature back, big time. And the benefits of their hard work are felt far beyond this neighborhood. By slowing the flow of water down the mountain, their ponds keep rivers running year-round, feeding lush forests with nutrient-rich water all the way to the Pacific. Where one of the greatest shows on Earth is about to begin. Every fall, the Pacific Northwest is the setting for the salmon run. After years at sea, millions of salmon gather, driven by the instinct to swim upriver and breed. In Northern California, they must squeeze through the narrow mouth of the Klamath River. Predators swim in from hundreds of miles away, timing their arrival for this event. Sea lions, they're just waiting for the fish to make the first move. As the tide rises, the salmon surge towards the river's mouth. Squeezed together, they have no room to maneuver. The sea lions use the waves to turbo boost their chase. They single out individual salmon and drive them onto the beach. Around here, you gotta eat fast. There could be a larger sea lion on the next wave. 1,000-pound thief, looking to muscle in and steal your hard-earned lunch. For a month, every high tide is a feeding frenzy, as sea lions and seabirds gorge themselves. Every sea lion eats up to 35 pounds of fish a day. But there are so many salmon that 98% make it through. By late summer, the fish are returning to rivers all along the northwest coast. Alaska's Bristol Bay hosts the largest salmon run in the world. Up to 65 million sockeye salmon are swimming upstream. Their journey might be several hundred miles. And these amazing navigators use their sense of smell to guide them back to the exact patch of river where they hatched 4 years ago. But they don't quite have the place to themselves. Mama Bear and her 2 cubs have made it down from the mountains. She's done well to keep both cubs alive. Up to 40% don't make it through their first year. She's exhausted though. It's time they learn to stand on their own 4 paws. Time for fishing 101. Just watch me, kids. Oh, so close. Nope. Termites were way easier than this. Mom's not worried. She knows it will soon be much easier to catch a meal here because the salmon are changing. They've stopped eating. And all the males have become mating machines. That hunched back is kind of like a sockeye 6-pack. Check it out, ladies. And those teeth, irresistible. While the males show off, the females are being more practical, looking for the best patch of riverbed to lay eggs. They fight over the shallow spots where the water's cool and rich in oxygen. Then each prepares a nest, clearing away silt that could suffocate her eggs. She lays over 4,000. And the male adds clouds of sperm. Across Alaska, Millions of salmon nests hold billions of eggs. Exhausted and starved, the salmon die soon after spawning. But even in death, they bring life. The decaying bodies merge with the riverbank. The biggest transfer of nutrients from ocean to land on Earth. Plant food for the great forest of the north, where trees grow 3 times faster along salmon-stocked rivers. Dead fish are an easy meal for patient cubs. These two will fatten up quickly now, just in time to climb the mountain back to their den. Winter will come again, hard, but they'll be ready. The snow, though fierce, will be the lifeblood of next summer, allowing life to thrive across the northlands of America. Welcome to North America. The most diverse continent on Earth. The only place where you can find every landscape from polar ice cap to baking desert and everything in between. Whatever the neighborhood, there's a hero who can make it a home. Smart, tough, brave, you name it. They all have what it takes to thrive in the wildest, most beautiful continent on Earth.
Patchwork quilt of life. Wildness never die. Beauty always thrive under these spacious skies.
The American Southwest. From Texas to California is a spectacular world of desert and rock. An arid wonderland where water, when it comes, shapes the land and the lives of all that live here. The Grand Canyon. 300 miles long and 6,000 feet deep. An inaccessible place that's pretty good at keeping secrets. That's why the animal that rules this world has been shrouded in mystery until now. A mountain lion. Filmed in the Grand Canyon for the very first time. 200 pounds of muscle. He's on a quest to keep out rivals and father the next generation of big cats in his kingdom. But his success, and that of all life here, will ultimately depend on events 500 miles away, where the Southwest Desert meets the Pacific Ocean. It's springtime. And off the coast of Baja California, a new life is just beginning. A baby gray whale. Birth weight, a healthy 2,000 pounds. This proud mom traveled for months without food to give birth in this sheltered lagoon. A safe haven from predators. Now she's building a bond with her son and feeding him 50% fat milk. One problem though, there's no food here for mom. So she's about to lead her calf, just 8 weeks old, on the longest mammal migration on Earth. But they're not alone. 99% of the world gray whale population sets off from here each year to swim 6,000 miles back to their Arctic feeding grounds. The calf has been putting on 200 pounds a day. He's raring to go. Only mom knows the challenges that lie ahead as they journey the length of our continent's west coast. This is truly America's whale. All along this coastline, the Pacific is a life giver. Off California, the sun's heat draws water from the cold ocean, creating a fog bank which blows inland on the sea breeze. This coastline is bathed in fog for 60 days a year, providing much of the water for the world's tallest trees. "300-foot coastal redwoods drink the droplets through their leaves. The fog also supports less celebrated trees. This oak is the storehouse for a family of acorn woodpeckers. They live to stash acorns. All day, every day. Almost to the point of obsession? But 50,000 acorns stored in the bark of one oak, that's bound to attract thieves. One woodpecker is always on lookout. Looks like a win for the squirrels. But the lookouts called in backup. By working together, they keep their stash safe. But not for long. This thief has his own power tools to break into the family vault. Even the most committed teamwork is no defense against a raider 1,000 times your size. All that hard work, undone in minutes. These hoarding heroes don't let a little setback get them down. The new collection begins straight away. "150 miles inland, the Sierra Nevada mountains capture the Pacific clouds. These mountains are a wall up to 14,000 feet high, blocking water from blowing further inland. Beyond is the ultimate desert world. The hottest place on Earth. Death Valley. Here, the summer temperature can reach 130 degrees. Even in spring, it can top 100. So, how do you survive in this land hardly ever reached by rain? One tiny desert dweller has a solution straight out of a science fiction movie. "10 feet underground, where it's an ideal temperature year-round. A bizarre insect society. These are honeypot ants. Some members of the species only exist to store food for others. The worker ants gather flower nectar in times of plenty and feed it to others who never leave the colony. Their abdomens swell to the size of a cherry with sweet nectar. It's the colony's insurance policy against hard times. Now the precious honeypots are full and kept clean by their comrades to keep them healthy. But in this corner of Death Valley, the driest place in North America, it hasn't rained all winter. If this drought goes on much longer, these desert survivalists will need a plan B. 250 miles further inland, the Colorado River carves through the high desert of Arizona to form the Grand Canyon. This spring morning brings a first ever glimpse into the private life of the canyon's most elusive resident. Our mountain lion is on a mission to breed. Like all male mountain lions, he's a loner. His scarred face shows he'll fight to keep rival males out of his kingdom. But his biggest battle is finding a female. There's only a handful in 100 square miles of this canyon, so you can't rely on a chance encounter. He needs to advertise. His scent mark will last for weeks. A message to any passing females that this eligible bachelor is looking for love. For others in the West, finding a mate is the least of their worries. Over 20 million free-tailed bats, one of the largest gatherings of mammals on Earth, flock to this sheltered Texas cave each spring to mate and have pups. These baby bats have to grow up fast. Tonight, at just a month old, this little guy will fly up to 100 miles in search of food on his very first flight. As evening falls, the bats start to leave. They'll get more time to feed by heading out early. But leaving their sanctuary in daylight is a gamble. There's danger from above. A Swainson's hawk. An even greater danger from below. Cactus spines snag the inexperienced pups. Making them an easy target. Coach whip snakes. Their large eyes mark them out as visual hunters. Non-venomous, they rely on dagger-sharp teeth to catch their prey. And if a bat makes a run for it, it stands no chance against the fastest snake in North America. Despite the danger, every bat has to head out sometime or starve. But what a time to take your first ever flight. His only chance is to climb quickly to somewhere he can relaunch. Sometimes you just need a bit of luck. This young bat's cleared the most dangerous hurdle on his path to adulthood. Tonight, he and the rest of his colony will devour 250 tons of insects in the southwest skies. Back in the Pacific, the clock is ticking for the gray whale mom and calf. They're averaging 3 miles an hour on their journey up the west coast to their summer feeding grounds. The beaches of Los Angeles are an eye-opener for a baby whale. If he can memorize landmarks like this, it will help him navigate when he's old enough to make this migration on his own. No time to hang out, though. Mom knows it's still a long way. 4,000 miles to the Alaskan Arctic. Next stop, a wonder of the American West. A forest of giant kelp, growing up to 18 inches a day. Fueled by the California sun. This is the ocean equivalent of a tropical rainforest. Full of life at every level. Sea otters take it easy in the kelp beds. Moms can't even get daycare here. From the kelp. Wrapped up in weed, this youngster won't drift away. And Mom can go freediving. She can hold her breath for up to 8 minutes while she hunts on the seabed. Her favorite spot is the surf zone near the shore, where the waves churn up nutrients, feeding beds of shellfish. The otters thrive on this protein-rich superfood. There's plenty for everyone, if You can hold on to your catch. The ocean supplies all the otter's needs. Even rocks from the seafloor to smash open mussels. Many sea otters spend their entire lives at sea, where the year-round riches are in stark contrast to the land. In the desert, the scorching summer is just weeks away, and somebody's in a hurry to raise a family. Acosta's hummingbird, the hardest working mom in America. She's on a mission at 2,000 wing beats a minute, collecting dried grass and spider webs to build a nest. She has just 5 weeks to raise a brood, and she needs just one more ingredient that only a male can provide. The mom's short on time, but she's still really picky. He sticks out his throat feathers. He's throwing some great shapes. But she's still not sure this thumb-sized heartthrob is the one. He'll have to pull out his very best move. He climbs to 100 feet. Then dives at 60 miles per hour. Whistling tail feathers are the soundtrack to his show. That dive. That face. Now, she's sure. After the briefest of encounters, the mom soon has eggs to lay. And now the real hard work begins. In the sweltering heat, she's soon visiting up to 2,000 flowers a day to feed her brood. Twins, twice the work. Each chick started out just half the weight of a dollar bill. She feeds them up on a protein shake of insects and nectar. In just 21 days, they're 10 times heavier than when they hatched. And ready to take their very first flight. Supermom has done it. And just before the summer heat hits, soon they'll have to leave for the coast where it's cooler. Our gray whales have traveled another 300 miles since leaving LA. The mom now hasn't eaten for 6 months. she's lost a fourth of her body weight while feeding her calf 6 gallons of milk a day. She needs to reach the feeding grounds ASAP. And now, she faces a choice. Does she save energy and take a shortcut across Monterey Bay? A dangerous 25-mile stretch of open water. Or keep on hugging the shoreline. She puts the safety of her calf above her hunger and stays inshore, hidden in the kelp forest. Another, less experienced mom chooses to take her calf straight across the bay. The wrong call. Orcas. This pod comes here at this time every year to hunt gray whale calves. The older orcas teach the young ones how to hunt. First, they ram the calf at 30 miles per hour. When the gray whale mom tries to lead her wounded youngster to safety in the kelp forest, other orcas block their path. Working together, they drive their prey back to deep water and separate the calf from its mother. Their plan has worked. Now they drown the calf. It's a cruel lesson, but this young mother will have other calves in years to come. For our more experienced mom, sticking to the American coast has saved her calf's life. They've passed the most dangerous test on their journey to Alaska. And they're getting out of the West just as the toughest time of year begins. July in Death Valley. There's been no rain now for 6 months. Through the drought, the honeypot ants have gradually drained all the nectar they'd stored in their nestmates. So with nothing left to eat, the workers are setting out on a raiding party. They must be quick. By the middle of the day, the surface can hit 200 degrees. That's hot enough to cook an ant in seconds. They find a rival from another colony. They size her up and follow her scent back to her nest. Here they find ants still full of nectar, black from food found on tree roots deep underground. buried treasure worth fighting over. The starving invaders eat some honeypots on the spot. Others, they capture and drag back to their home colony. The raiders will have to get home fast because a force of nature is building nearby. The thundercloud collapses into a monster dust storm known as a haboob. Most ants make it back just before the 60-mile-an-hour wall of sand takes out any stragglers in its path. The entrance to the nest is buried, but the stolen honeypots will ensure the colony's survival for now. By late summer, the heat and drought across the West are almost unbearable. Even clouds don't signify rain. These are pyrocumulus, fire clouds, formed by soot particles rising high into the sky above wildfires. Hotter summer temperatures caused by climate change are making wildfire season increasingly extreme across the West. The residents of Los Angeles are all too familiar with these infernos. Homes and wildlife habitat are regularly destroyed, right up to the city limits. But there's an oasis in Tinseltown. Griffith Park, right in the heart of Hollywood. Protected from fires, these well-watered lawns are a haven for wildlife. And after dark, this park really comes alive. There's prey and predators. Bobcat, coyote, and one A-list star with an amazing backstory. When he found himself homeless, this intrepid hero made a 50-mile trek along the Santa Monica Mountains. He crossed the busiest freeway in the U.S. right into the heart of the city. Meet P-22, the world's most famous mountain lion. As there's so much prey in his park, he thrives in a territory just 5% the size of his Grand Canyon cousins. His radio collar sends scientists his location. In the small hours, he leaves the park and prowls the city streets. If it's a mate he's after, he's out of luck. There's next to no chance another mountain lion will ever emulate his amazing journey. But he can find something in the city that's in very short supply. Water. In the heat of the summer, a broken water pipe can be a lifeline. But for those across the parched West, without a water supply, hope is finally on the horizon. In late summer, the winds shift over the Pacific Ocean, blowing rain clouds hundreds of miles inland. This is the beginnings of one of the most powerful weather systems in America, the American monsoon. For 3 months, torrential downpours drench the Southwest. These storms can drop 2 inches of rain in an hour, rejuvenating the barren deserts. This region can get up to half its annual rainfall in this late summer monsoon. The rain from the distant ocean is the secret to life in America's deserts, all the way to the top of the food chain. A new mountain lion in the Grand Canyon. Not the scarred-faced male, but a female. After the recent rain, she can travel outside of her usual range, safe in the knowledge that there'll be drinking water to be found. This first ever look into the lives of the Grand Canyon's mountain lions shows that big cats are still thriving in this iconic American wilderness. A source of hope for the future. This female is on her own. No cubs. So quite likely she's in season, looking for a mate. She's found the scent marks of the scarred-faced male. Her first introduction to a potential partner. And following on, just an hour later, is the male. He'll soon achieve his goal, another generation of big cats in his kingdom. true heroes of the great American West.